Hi guys, Chantal here from Grounded Mind. How are you doing today? Wanted to do a video today, a longer video, and I wanted to talk about the science behind safety. I talk about safety in all my videos, and I've worked with people all across the globe. And one of the main issues that people struggle with, that I struggled with, that I had to really get my head around, was how do I create safety in moments of high stress levels? How can I actually tell my brain that I'm safe? Because it's so difficult at times, but when you do actually get it, then it becomes easier and it becomes more achievable. It isn't necessarily something that happens overnight, but it is something that is learned, and it is something where you have to put in the work to see the result. And so I have got my notes today because I don't want to miss anything out. I want to cover everything that I've been thinking about talking to you about today. So yes, your brain, as we know, as I say, it has one job, and that job is to protect you. It is protecting you. No matter how you see protection, the way your brain sees protection is how it's going to react to you. It's going to protect you. It's trying to keep you alive. It's trying to keep you safe. Thing with neuroplastic pain, the pains we feel, the sensations we feel, is our brain protecting us. We think of protection like, something safe, doesn't hurt, it's a cuddle, it's, you feel like you've been rescued, whereas the brain is seeing it as doing that. It's giving you these symptoms because it is trying to rescue you from what it is that you're experiencing. It doesn't care if you're happy, it just cares that you are safe. So yes, why do the symptoms continue? And it's an obvious question to ask, because even when you know about neuroplasticity and that your pain is neuroplastic and that is mind body, and that you've even noticed that by you doing some somatic tracking, or you're accepting the sensations, that you will feel that it comes back. And it's like, why do the symptoms continue? Why do they continue? But an initial trigger could be, vestibular migraine. It could be illness. It could be trauma, burnout, panic attack. And the triggers may disappear, but the brain, this is the thing, the brain remembers, and it remembers. And again, what I speak about is the neurons in your brain. We build neurons over time, and this is how the brain remembers. Those neural pathways that we are creating through what we're going through, the brain latches onto that. So if you can think about reacting and responding differently, safety neural connectors, the brain latches onto that, and that is why safety is important. So instead of reacting to danger, it's predicting danger. Nothing's happening, but because it's like learnt behavior. It's exactly what it is. It's learnt that you respond a certain way, and this has happened to you. It could be a loud concert where you've had tinnitus, or it could be, for example, myself having vertigo probably once a year because of a high stress situation. Unfortunately, my brain has latched onto that. It's latched onto the anxiety that has created the vertigo, and it's latched onto that. And then when I get to that state, to protect me, it's giving me that, which it's latched onto to protect me. So yeah, what does danger look like? What danger looks like to your brain? So this is where people really can relate. So for example, I know you've all done it. You're Googling symptom. I did that. Googled symptom. I remember the once I Googled when I had, this is before I knew about mind body, I Googled tinnitus and I Googled vertigo, and I saw Meniere's disease, and I panicked. And it's so bizarre because in that moment my ears went boo, and the dizziness came. It makes so much sense. I was so scared. My brain was like, she's good, she's good, she's good. Give her more, give her more, give her more. Checking dizziness, looking for exits, staying near home, avoiding supermarkets, the avoidance that we do. We avoid things. you know, constant reassurance, wearing sunglasses everywhere, putting this is what I used to do. I used to put the sun thing down in the car when I was driving, even on a day when it wasn't sunny, because I was avoiding what I knew in the past would create me to feel unbalanced. And I was thinking, I don't want to crash my car if I get dizzy. So that's an avoidance. Cancelling plans, thinking what if, and I know you've all done that. What if this happens? If I don't bring that, what if that happens? If I open my eyes, what if that happens? If I look at the ground, what if that happens? If I go on holiday, what if that happens? If I start a new job, what if that happens? The what ifs. So every one of these behaviours makes perfect sense, but they accidentally tell your brain that something is wrong. So yes, the situation becomes dangerous, even though it isn't dangerous. And because our brain is trying to protect us, you know, if a lion's running towards you, your brain's like, fight and flight, or freeze. Our brain is doing what it is being made to do, designed to do. So what safety actually looks like, this is what I work through with my clients. And each client has a different, I work with my clients differently depending on what stage they're at. But, you know, safety is saying, I have a symptom, but I'm okay. It's not pushing the symptom away and trying to avoid the symptom. It's you saying, okay, brain, I know you're trying to protect me, but I am okay. I'm good. You know, examples of this are walking, even though you know it can sometimes cause you to feel unbalanced, cooking despite feeling off balance, going shopping despite feeling anxiety, driving without the despair of fear, living despite uncertainty, So why fighting symptoms doesn't work, and I've spoken a lot about this, is, you know, saying I don't want this. When will it stop? When will it go away? How long will it take me to heal? Again, the what ifs. All of those things don't help, because those neurons that you have through fear, those neural connectors there, you are strengthening them. Remember, our brain remembers. So if then you are reacting and you are responding in panic and in a negative way, then our brain is going to still create that safety, because something is essentially wrong, and those neural connectors are getting stronger and stronger and stronger, because remember what I said earlier on, our brain remembers. So the more we fight, the more attention the brain gives. The more we fight, the more attention the brain gives it. The more we fight, the more attention the brain gives it. Think about that. The more you are in a state of you know, rejecting and pushing it away, your brain remembers. It remembers. So when you are going through that fear loop cycle, remember, your brain is remembering. So we have to do the reverse. We have to do the opposite to what we're doing. So one thing I speak about and have spoken about from the very beginning, which did really help me, somatic tracking. You know, it's instead of like they're like, oh no, I'm dizzy, we become an investigator. Like, everyone who's spoken to me knows I speak a lot about having that investigative mindset, where you are saying, okay, I feel this symptom. You get yourself into a calm place. Like, I feel this symptom. Where is the symptom? What does it feel like? You take a deep breath. You almost, if you can imagine your breath as a different colour, say it's, I don't know, orange, and you are breathing through your symptoms. And while your symptoms are there, you're visualising them. You can feel and you can see your breath moving through them. You're giving the symptoms some space, just so you can picture what's happening while you're breathing and the symptoms are around you. Really investigating what those symptoms feel like. And that is you coming from a place of non-judgment, a place of, you know, you're not angry at it. You just want to find out more. You want to find out more about it. And also, again, which we always speak about, is breathing. Breathe in, Breathing doesn't remove the symptoms, but it tells the nervous system that you are safe. And I know you've heard this from me many times, and I know you've heard it from other coaches. Breathe in. And Dan Buglio, before all of his videos, he takes deep breaths. It just tells your brain that you are safe. You know, the slow exhale and the relaxing shoulders, the relaxation of your jaw, and you're noticing the tension fall, literally feel it fall when you're breathing. It's telling your brain that you are safe. It's creating, and it's creating safety neural connectors, and it's also strengthening the ones that are already there. They are the ones that you are trying to build upon. Exposure creates safety. This is where you explain fear. This is where you really need to explain to yourself and understand for yourself, and let yourself understand that when you do the things that created the fear or that you're fearful of, you are creating safety around that fear, and it then doesn't, the fear of that goes away. So this is where you really need to think about, what are the things that I fear? I do this thing where I do a fear ladder, and you look at the things that you are fearful of, and you step into that with all the new tools that you have, and you create safety. Your brain will then not fear that. It won't become a trigger. It will become safe. So yes, healing isn't linear. You can notice I'm going through a lot of my videos all in one. Healing is not linear. Healing is like this. And those dips are called setbacks. But how do we respond to those setbacks? If you can respond to those setbacks with safety, with calm, then it will go more like this. Some people start to heal and they have a setback and back down, and then, but I would say a decent healing journey is a setback, up and down. But if you notice, you're still going up. So things to start today is really notice every time you're checking your symptoms. Become curious instead of frightened. Do one thing today that your brain says not to do. And it is tiny steps, but these tiny steps are massive wins. They are big wins. And so, yes, I just want to remind everyone today that your symptoms are not proof that you are broken. Your symptoms are proof that your brain is trying to protect you. So with that, with the brain trying to protect you, say, thank you, brain. My symptoms are here, but I am okay. I have got this. Feel what they feel like. Take a deep breath. Push your shoulders back and carry on. I really hope this video has helped someone today. I just wanted to go through a lot of the things I've already said, but in one video. And yes, let me know if this has helped you. And if it has, please like and comment, ask questions and share. And have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.